I wanted to keep the first couple weeks of this new channel away from the more serious topics because I don't exactly enjoy covering these topics. However, it is news, so I will be covering these and I do need to inform yous. And this one is revolving around someone who's been in the spotlight for some pretty heinous stuff a multitude of times, and that is Fnm04. Now, before I even start explaining what happened, I just want to preference all this is very recent, the stuff that's happened right now, and some stuff only have a couple screenshots without much context to show as evidence, so I would take everything in this video with a grain of salt and wait till we at least hear responses from the people that I have mentioned in this video before actually, having an opinion, but this is just to pretty much give an idea on what's happening currently. So as you can see, 3 months ago, Fnm04 kind of stopped uploading for a little while, and that was because of a very serious exposal with allegations to him being a zoophile or a pedophile, and this was on top of the Banshee controversy he already went through with leaking that level, and so he kind of stopped posting for a while. And he's done this multiple times, but then people got a bit annoyed because recently he came back and he posted a video on Orbit 3 weeks ago, and it really just feels like he keeps coming back to the community, kind of trying to leech off of us, and it kind of felt like that because he's uploading such a popular level. Like, he just kind of damage control, left for 3 months, and then came back and just uploaded a showcase of the most popular level at the time. And then recently he came back again. It looked like it was just a one-off, but he came back again, showcasing a top 1 waterfall sequel. And if we go on to this video, you can see that the comments are turned off. However, that wasn't always the case. As you can see, there used to be a comment section, and there was a pinned comment by Fnm, who was kind of hosting this top 1. And it basically reads, "The accusations against Fnm04 on Twitter turned out to be extremely exaggerated and taken out of context. Good job as always, GD Twitter. Fnm04 and the person who initiated this cancelling have spoken and reached a peaceful agreement. The incident is resolved. Based on the information above, we are continuing to work with Fnm04 as the accusations leveled against him on Twitter are for the most part false." Now, I don't know what to think about this because there is a lot of evidence to say that is not true at all and that this was a real thing that happened. However, even if it is, okay, let's just say that it is over exaggerated, which I'm not saying it isn't. There could be a chance it is, and I'm gonna keep that in my mind, but let's just say that 100% sure it was exaggerated. After the amount of allegations and exposals that Fnm04 has gone through, and the fact that he's hit his comment section multiple times at this point, surely you would think to yourself after all this, maybe I should stop coming back and just quit uploading entirely, because you have to realize that he has been coming back after getting exposed so many times, and every time you do that, it looks more and more like you're just being a cash grab. Even if you're not and you're just doing it because you enjoy the game, every time you do it, it just gives off a lot less of a truthful personality to everyone. And it's not like he doesn't have any other hobbies. He used to, I don't know if he still does, but post his photography. Kinda recently he started doing that, and those are really interesting. They're really cool photos on there. He's really good. He wanted that to be his job. I think it was his job for a bit. I don't know if it still is. And it's clear that he has passions other than GD, so it's just really weird to see he just keeps kind of trying to come back and back, and he only does showcases, so not to say he doesn't put effort into them. Obviously he does to bot them. However, it's just, is this content really your passion enough to where after all these allegations you'll keep coming back to the game? And the second half of the drama revolves around BenCar, who, as you probably know, is one of the co-creators on Secret Way and kind of the main figurehead of the channel. I know Vix does a lot of the background stuff, but BenCar is kind of the main personality behind Secret Way. And recently there's a screenshot that's came out over him kind of backing Fnm04 and supporting them on stuff. Now, I would like to say again, just like I said at the beginning of the video, this is one screenshot that clearly has more text that we can't see. I don't even know where this was gathered from. It's just a screenshot that's leaked. So do as you will with that information. I personally would wait until Ben actually, shows his side of the story and explains his thought process and stuff, or this Twitter account gives more information on it. Please, this is very new info, so just take everything here with a grain of salt. So basically what happened is that Ben, Carr, and Finn, who is Fnm04, were talking on Discord, on DMs, and I'll just read it out. So, thanks, it's very shameful stuff though, you wouldn't want to know me. Ben says underage type stuff, and then he says, a bit of it, yeah. So, Fnm04 has just confirmed that he did kind of questionable stuff, and then he goes on to say, the screenshot saying I looked at Cub a few times, I never did since because I wasn't into it, but doesn't exactly read well in the screenshot. And Ben says, low key, that's a dumbass reason to tarnish someone's image over Cub and SFW. Bruh, that stuff ain't even real, and if you didn't even like it, then WTF. And Fnm04 says, yeah, but nobody would stand behind me publicly on that, and people would never listen to me. And then Ben says, if I were you, I'd just ignore it and keep uploading. And all this is kind of weird because, again, we've had people show proof that Fnm04 has done a lot worse than just NSFW of furry art. There's been a lot worse stuff than that. So, well, this isn't that bad in a sense. This whole DM isn't the worst thing. It's the fact that Ben's supporting someone with this many allegations and honestly a lot of proof to back it up. We've seen people get exposed with a lot more hard evidence, but there's definitely a lot supporting that Fnm04 is in the wrong. And look, this is just from my point of view. I just want to give my thoughts on this. I've noticed from Ben's interviews with people that he is a very agreeable person in the way that he never tries to disagree with anyone on the interviews. He's always kind of agreeing with every single person he meets and trying to be the nice guy, which, fair enough, you don't want to be seen supporting someone who maybe ends up being later down the line a bit morally questionable. However, I think that's coming into play with his actual personality, and it's not just for the podcasts. I think he's just scared to disagree with someone, and so he ends up agreeing with Fnm04, and that's just more his personality. I think that it is in the wrong. I'm not saying he isn't in the wrong. I'm saying this is more why this DM played out the way it is. I think that's just what BenCar does. Again, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but I think that's his current mindset on the situation. Even if it isn't, and even if liking furry NSFW isn't the worst thing in the world, again, we've had a lot more worse allegations put toward Fnm04. Now, again, I'm not on either side. I want to see more evidence to support both of these things. I genuinely I'm here to give out the info. I really hate talking about stuff as serious as this, but again, it's news and it's something important that's very serious for a community like Geometry Dash. So I will be covering it. But that's pretty much all we have now. Obviously, if more stuff comes out, then go look at that. I also want to point out that this DM is happening around the exact same time all the exposals started coming out about the really serious stuff that Fnm04 was doing, like zoophilia and pedophilia. So is the fact that BenCar is agreeing with Fnm04 out the gate day one with all these exposals going on, it's just not a good look. Okay, one very quick last thing I do want to point out. There's a bunch of tweets. I'm not going to show screenshots because I don't want to target a specific person, but there's been so many comments to BenCar that are just immediately saying he is the worst person on earth and he is the terrible being. I wish I never supported him. And we've only seen one screenshot. We currently only have one screenshot on this. I know to the original person that posted this screenshot it might be bad because BenCar was literally helping him expose another pedophile, and then he's just going and behind that guy's back agreeing and supporting another pedophile, so it just looks really wrong there. However, again, we only have one screenshot. Like, I guess fair enough if it ends up being true and there's more to the situation, but again, we have one out of context screenshot. I just really find it odd and kind of scary that people are this aggressive against people when there is as much as a singular screenshot as evidence towards it. It's just, I would, again, going with my mindset, I would just be waiting until we have a bit more info to kind of, at least be public about my opinion. Like, have those opinions on BenCar if you want, but don't make it public until we at least have some more info. But yeah, that's all from me. The next couple days, hopefully, I'll be back to making more lighthearted videos on the game. So yeah, peace.